He was born in poverty, raised in isolation, and orphaned before he turned 3. But Roman Abramovich would go on to become one of the wealthiest and most enigmatic men in the world. This is the real story of how a quiet boy from Soviet Russia rose to build an empire of billions, earn the ear of presidents, and change the game of global football forever. Stay with us, because this journey holds powerful lessons about resilience, reinvention, and seizing unlikely opportunities. Roman Arkadievich Abramovich was born in 1966 in Saratov, Russia. Tragedy struck early. His mother died of blood poisoning when he was just 1 year old. His father died in a construction accident before Roman's 3rd birthday. With no parents to raise him, he was sent to live with relatives in the remote frozen tundras of northern Russia. Life was harsh. He grew up in the bleak industrial town of Ukhta in the Komi Republic. The winters were unforgiving, the economy was tight, and the emotional wounds ran deep. But Roman was quiet, observant, and determined. What he lacked in resources, he made up for in curiosity and survival instinct. By the early 1980s, during the loosening of Soviet-era business restrictions under perestroika, Roman began dabbling in small trade. He started by selling plastic toys from his apartment. But Abramovich wasn't just hustling for cash. He was studying the rules, watching where the system was breaking down, and figuring out how to move within it. Over time, he shifted into more lucrative ventures: perfumes, car parts, and finally, oil. It was oil that would change his life. In the chaotic aftermath of the Soviet Union's collapse, the Russian government began selling off state assets through a process known as loans for shares. This was Roman's moment. Through his connections, savvy deals, and a partnership with oligarch Boris Berezovsky, Abramovich acquired Sibneft, a former state oil company. The price? Around $250 million. The actual value? Tens of billions. It was a new Russia, wild, unstable, full of risk. But Abramovich played the game masterfully. He was discreet, diplomatic, and unusually likable among the notoriously cutthroat class of post-Soviet oligarchs. Within a few years, he was not just wealthy, he was powerful. In 2000, Vladimir Putin became president. Abramovich was one of the few oligarchs who not only survived the transition, but became part of the inner circle. He was appointed governor of the Chukotka region in Russia's Far East, a poor, neglected area. Most saw the position as symbolic, but Abramovich poured hundreds of millions of his own money into improving local schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. The people adored him. He became known as the Good Oligarch, a rare label in post-Soviet Russia. If you're enjoying this story so far and want to see more real-life journeys of wealth, resilience, and transformation, consider subscribing. We're just getting started. In 2003, Abramovich made a move that shocked the world. He bought Chelsea Football Club for around £140 million. At the time, Chelsea was not a European powerhouse, but Roman had a vision. He invested heavily in talent, brought in world-class managers, and built a new kind of football culture. Under his ownership, Chelsea won 21 trophies in 19 years, including multiple Premier League titles and the coveted UEFA Champions League. Abramovich didn't just change Chelsea, he changed the economics of football entirely. Other billionaires took notice. The Premier League became a magnet for global wealth, and fans around the world came to know the name Roman Abramovich. Despite his public success, Abramovich's name was never far from scrutiny. His relationship with the Kremlin, the means by which he acquired his fortune, and the opaque nature of Russian business raised constant questions. In 2022, following the invasion of Ukraine and increasing pressure from Western governments, Abramovich was sanctioned by the UK. He announced he would sell Chelsea and use the proceeds to support victims of the war. It marked the end of an era, but not the end of his influence. Privately, Abramovich has remained deeply reserved. He avoids the spotlight, rarely gives interviews, and often moves silently behind the scenes. He's a father of 7, a patron of the arts, and a significant donor to hospitals, museums, and Jewish community causes worldwide. Despite his staggering wealth, he often dresses plainly and lives simply compared to many of his peers. It's not humility for show. It seems to be part of who he is. Roman Abramovich's life offers some powerful lessons. 1. Tragedy is not a life sentence. Orphaned at age 3, he never let his beginnings define his future. 2. Stay quiet, but think strategically. He rarely spoke publicly, but his moves were deliberate and far-reaching. 3. Timing matters. He recognized key moments of change, like the fall of the USSR, and acted boldly. 4. Value loyalty. His alliances, especially early on, helped open doors that would have stayed shut. 5. Success doesn't always shout. Sometimes, real power is built behind the scenes, not in front of cameras. Roman Abramovich didn't follow a straight path. His life was shaped by pain, political shifts, and unpredictable tides. But through it all, he stayed observant, resilient, and ready to move. Where you start doesn't have to determine where you finish. And sometimes, the most powerful changes happen quietly. If this story inspired you, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. We tell real stories that matter, and we'd love to have you with us for the journey. Thanks for watching.